Bonjour, Kinamagan in Ireland and Dishnikas, and welcome to today's episode from Support Coach, our first read of The Road Not Taken and by the Arno. We begin today's episode by consulting a dictionary. A dictionary is a reference source that lists words alphabetically with their definitions, pronunciations, and parts of speech. Pronunciations use a standard set of symbols to represent the sounds in the English language. They show how words are broken into syllables and which word parts are stressed. Part of speech describes the way a word is used in a sentence. A word might be a noun, verb, adjective, or adverb. Your classrooms still have dictionaries. Libraries have dictionaries, but many of you have now gone to a more paperless existence, and there are still websites like dictionary.com, m-w.com, where you can look this information up. So let's try it with these lines from The Road Not Taken, along with its dictionary entry for diverge. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. What we see here, diverge, it's a verb, so it's an action. And the two possible meanings are to move in different directions or to be different in character. So did two roads change in character? Maybe, but probably not in this instance. To move in a different direction. Now that makes more sense. So I would have decided that the word diverge means to move in a different direction. Now I have some more dictionary entries here. The word hence, oleander, and crimson. And let's say I was trying to do hence, which is an adverb, means it describes a verb. And I need to decide if it means as a consequence, years from now, or from this place. And it tells me it's on page 32. So I went to page 32 here. We have to find the word hence, and you see that it's one of the bold words. So let's read the sentences around it. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. So somewhere ages and ages hence. Go back to our meanings. As a consequence, years from now, or from this place. If you thought years from now, I would go with that. Let's go back to that original passage. Somewhere ages and ages or years from now. Yeah, that makes sense. So you're using some of these previous skills, such as looking at context clues. That also applies to determining the meaning of a word, even when you have a dictionary. All right, let's go to the practice the skill. First read visualize. To visualize is to see something in your mind. You create a mental picture that only you can see. You add what you already know about a topic to the descriptive details in a text to create the image. When you listen to or read poetry, visualize the images that the words describe. Close your eyes and picture what the words are saying. You might change your picture as you hear or read more of the poem. So let's try it. And this is from the poem Buttercups and Daisies by Mary Howitt. So before I even read, I want to think about what I'm looking for. What do I visualize as I read this poem? What do we know about buttercups and daisies? What do you know about trees and fields in early spring? Think about what you know and what the words say. What picture do you see? The passage. Buttercups and daisies, oh, the pretty flowers, coming ere the springtime to tell of sunny hours. While the trees are leafless, while the fields are bare, buttercups and daisies spring up here and there. So what are you visualizing as you read this? In my head, I'm picturing flowers coming up, that early spring where it's still kind of chilly out. The grass is starting to turn green. There's probably still a little bit of snow on cooler areas or in the woods. But we're starting to see that true, hey, spring is almost here. What did I know about buttercups and daisies? Really, there's just that they're flowers. What do I know about trees and fields in early spring? Well, I know they're wet. I know that they start out kind of like looking like dead grass, and all of a sudden now you start to see flowers in green grass. What you know and what the words say, well, that's going to differ for each of us. We all have differing experiences. If you were someone who grew up in a household where your parents or guardians were ran a flower shop, you're going to have a different view. Or if you grew up in the middle of a city, you're going to have a differing view than if you grew up in a exurban or suburban area where you might actually get to see these bare fields. Um, so that concludes the first read. And now you may return to your Google Classroom. Mama P.